Money's death in March 2023 lit the match of the rivalry between Bloodhound and Trap City. What followed was nearly a year-long storm of and bodies dropped on both sides. From Lil Jeff's cold-blooded get-backs to public humiliations and live-streamed executions, this is how Bloodhound Zmoney's death caused 24 months of bloodshed. Z-Money's death, the fall of the 0679 Alliance. Z-Money was a respected rapper and Bloodhound 079 soldier. On March 16, 2023, he got backdoored, slid on in a parking lot near 79th and Kimbark, and was struck over 29 times. He died that same day, busting his body at just 22, ending the decade-long 0679 Alliance dead in its tracks. Before the war, Bloodhound and Trap City were actually allies, moving together through mutual respect and shared ops. Z-Money ran with Bloodhounds. According to fans on Cheericology, beef flared after Lil Jeff snatched a chain. Jeff took Trap City Carter's chain, they say, and soon Trap City swung heavy. Rumors flew that the stolen chain was the spark, but real motive was always street politics and ops pulling triggers for clout. Z-Money's slaying didn't happen in the studio or club. It was a full blitz scenario in the parking lot of Avalon Park. On Reddit, fans broke it down clearly. This ruined multiple lives by stealing a chain from he was cool with. That chain robbery was seen as a violation, and even though Z-Money didn't take the chain, he paid the price for it. Z-Money was a member of the Bloodhounds, but also Lil Jeff and Q50's cousin. However, once the chain got taken, Trap City didn't care who did what. They marked Z-Money for it. Another user explained it like this: crazy how him and the whose chain he's wearing died over a beef that started FRM that exact situation. Streets is wicked. It wasn't about facts. It was about image and respect. In the streets, disrespect from your circle can make you a target too. After Z was Jeff started going hard in music and the streets. One post said, "The reason why Jeff went crazy, for your cousin to be killed by the thought you was cool with. Oh yeah, I'm going crazy ASO." That shows how deep the betrayal hit. Jeff felt like Z got lined by people they used to rock with under the same alliance. It shook the whole 0679 structure. Trap City slid deep on March 16th of 2023, around 2 p.m. Z-Money was in his whip at 79th and Kimbark when another vehicle pulled up. Gunmen armed up and unloaded. 29 shots hit Z, who died on the spot. No arrests. Lil Cap from Trap City immediately claimed the hit, and just like that, the 0679 Alliance collapsed, and Z-Money's death lit the torch on a full-blown war. This is how Bloodhound Zmoney's death caused 24 months of bloodshed. Trap City Leal. Bloodhound Lil Jeff was a born and there was no way he was letting his cousin's death slide. He was ready to get back the moment it happened. On June 25th, 2023, at around 9 p.m., 19-year-old Jelial Goins, better known as Leal from Trap City, was sitting in the backseat of a Lyft near 1300 West Taylor Street when someone approached the vehicle and opened fire with a micro Draco pistol. Leal was hit at least 7 times. The Lyft driver tried to escape the gunfire, speeding off while the kept letting off rounds for nearly 2 blocks. He raced to Rush University Medical Center, but it was too late. Leal was pronounced dead shortly after arrival. No arrests were made, but on the streets, everyone knew what it was. Bloodhound 079 claimed the hit, marking it as the first public act of getback for Z-Money. The war had officially started. Lil Jeff wasn't just sliding, he was humiliating his ops on camera. In the summer of 2023, a video surfaced that shook the city. Lil Jeff, face-to-face with Big Motion, a Trap City member, made him say the unthinkable. Surrounded and under pressure, Big Motion looked straight at the phone and said, "Leal, his own guy, gone just weeks earlier."
I said fuck him.
The video spread fast. Bloodhounds turned it into a trophy. Trap City took it as open disrespect. This wasn't a diss track. This was humiliation in real life. Proof that Lil Jeff wasn't just he was breaking them down first. Z-Money died for Jeff's mistake. Leal died for Z's death. And Jeff's still free, still posting, still rapping. Trap City got quieter after Leal's body dropped. Bloodhound doubled down. This wasn't ops versus ops. It was internal, and it's not over. 2 bodies. The next slide could come from anywhere. Monty and Lil Rob. After sliding on Trap City Leal, Lil Jeff kept the violence going. His cousin Z-Money had been over a chain that he snatched. Leal got lined up for that body. Then Monty and Lil Rob, both youngins close to Jeff, allegedly ran off with his watches and paid for it in blood. Monty and Lil Rob, two young drill soldiers and classmates, got backdoored in broad daylight on January 26, 2024. Monty and Lil Rob weren't big rappers, but they were deep in the block politics. Young Bloodhound Drill City affiliates sliding around downtown. According to Reddit, they'd robbed Lil Jeff of some flashy watches and showed them off online. On January 26, 2024, at exactly 12:26 p.m., 17-year-old Montario Monty Williams and 16-year-old Robert Lil Rob Boston were outside Innovations High School on lunch break near Washington and Wabash in the Loop, the heart of downtown Chicago. That's when a dark-colored sedan and an Infiniti SUV pulled up. In broad daylight, Bloodhound 079 hitters, T-Slick, Lil Jeff, and J-Mo jumped out and opened fire, letting off a 15-second barrage. Both teens were spot. The scene was chaos. Students ran, sirens followed, but the vanished, jumping back in the SUV and fleeing to the Calumet City suburbs. For a year, it stayed an unsolved mystery. Then, in January 2025, the case cracked. T-Slick was arrested on January 31st, and just 4 days later, on February 4th, J-Mo was picked up after being identified as a student who left school 90 minutes before the However, back then, Bloodhound had brought the war straight to a school zone. And finally, the law caught up, TMC slide. But Lil Jeff didn't stop there. On May 13th, 2024, TMC slide, the rapper from TMC 6300, got tapped in the head. Lil Jeff from Bloodhound 079 went live right after, claiming the hit, saying Slide's on life support. Rumors followed in December that he passed, but the streets still haven't seen proof. According to the Bloodhound 079 wiki, Jeff supposedly circled Slide's ride, a fishbowl, flashing jewelry, then fired, hitting him in the dome. Jeff went live afterward, flexing the taking and hinting Slide was gone.
On my dead grandmother head, his ass was somewhere on the deathbed, down, if not dead, down. This moment. Fuck. That got hit in his brain. This shit hurt.
Reddit's R-Chiricology picks up the story a year later with comments like, Lil Jeff and Q50 were driving around when they saw TMC slide inside of a fishbowl. They circled and got alongside his car and shot him in the head. I personally believe this is Jeff's alone, Q50 just an accomplice. No official reports, no police confirmations, just Jeff's live claim and the street chatter. Then by December 2024, rumors exploded he died, but no obituary, no public proof. Slide's friends haven't confirmed it. The visuals from the Instagram live give it weight. Jeff confessing the act while Slide's probably writhing or unresponsive. Reddit threads suggest the hit left him brain dead, vegetable. But nobody stepped forward with a body count or hospital update. That silence keeps the rumor alive. Slide's fate hangs in the balance, life support or past. Streets say Jeff pulled it off, but without proof. However, during an interview, a TMC member tried to downplay the situation, assuring that everything was fine. But one thing's clear, something definitely went down.
They ain't did what folks did, you feel me?
Yeah, because I even seen a video on YouTube, but I'm going live. I'm like,
look, they gonna keep bringing folks' name up, folks. They gonna keep doing all type of but folks good, though. Ain't nothing wrong with folks. Folks good, though.
Jeff kept coming after his ops, but it was only a matter of time before the other side responded. Lil Jeff. Lil Jeff had built a name off fear, not fame, linked to bodies in Chicago and Milwaukee, and known more for pressure than posting. But on June 8, 2024, all that caught up to him. He pulled up to Trap City's hood trying to press one more move and got turned into a target. Chased Trap City Glenn onto a porch, but didn't know Trap City Rob was already inside. Before Jeff could make it in, Rob upped it and let off. Seconds later, Jeff was slumped in the street over a dozen times. The man with 11 bodies to his name got left with none behind him. The timeline lined up. After Zmoney got in early 2023 over a chain snatched by Jeff, he went on a run. Trap City Leal dropped months later, allegedly by Jeff and Q50. Monty and Lil Rob caught lacking downtown, backdoored after they allegedly stole Jeff's watches. At 5:14 p.m. on June 8, 2024, gunshots rang out near 66th and Rhodes. Over 45 shell casings were found at the scene. Jeff was hit 12 to 15 times, mostly in the chest and upper body. Witnesses say it was a Hyundai Santa Fe nearby, the kind of slide that leaves no second chances. Reddit posts surfaced within minutes talking about the footage wasn't verified officially, but the streets didn't need confirmation. Bloodhound Lil Jeff was gone, tributes poured in, and drill pages lit up. But behind the emotions, the war never paused. Jeff had become the centerpiece of an underground body count, possibly a dozen hits linked to him, including work in Milwaukee. And in that world, you don't get murals, you get lined. But taking out Lil Jeff wasn't enough for the ops. The Bloodhounds were hit with another loss just a month later. Lil Scoom, real name Assyrian, Scoom 89 Hogan, was one of the youngest rising drill voices in Chicago. His music was raw, his reach growing. But on the night of July 7th, 2024, his grind ended violently. Around 11:50 p.m. at 89th and Langley in Chatham, Scoom got into a verbal spat with someone. Seconds later, shots rang out. He was hit twice in the chest and rushed to the University of Chicago, but didn't make it. No one's been arrested. And his label, Signal Records, said it was with great sadness. They lost not just an artist, but our heart. Scoom wasn't a well-known mainstream name, but in the underground drill world, he was respected. Only 18, he had built a fan base, dropped tracks like Caught On, collaborated with Bloodhound's Lil Jeff and Nalimi Pharaoh, and had feuds with FBG Cash, Lil J, and Memo 600. A month before his death, he released a diss towards a Lil Durk affiliate, adding fuel to the fire. On the night he died, Scoom and a 16-year-old friend got into it with a man on the street. Eyewitnesses say, after the dispute, the other individual pulled a gun and shot them. Scoom was shot twice in the chest. His friend was wounded in the legs. Nearby police pursued the suspect on foot, who even returned fire at them before escaping. His mother said she spoke to him just minutes before. He said he didn't feel right, then got hit moments later. She stressed it was people he trusted who crossed him, not randoms. Lil Scoom's death highlights the same twisted loop we've seen with Zmoney, Leal, Monty, Lil Rob, and Lil Jeff. Drill rappers alive today, dead tomorrow, caught up in beef that bleeds into real life. Once again, the didn't stop there, and now it was the Bloodhound's turn. CEO Hawkim. Bloodhound Q50's beef with Risky Road kicked off when Risky Road started talking tough online. Then Q50's camp responded with street-level threats and slander reels. Q50's Bloodhounds had been handling city ops smoothly, but Reddit lit up with rumors. Bloodhound and Risky Road beefing because Shorty Mob took a pipe from an ESD member, and Scoom was dissing 30, Risky Road, who is Lil Mo, ESD cousin. Reddit also saw posts, Bloodhound Q50 fuck Risky Road, showing fans hyped over the online clash. Fans in Cheericology went back and forth. One Reddit user said it stemmed from Scoom dissing 30, then Risky Road slid back for Hawkim at the studio. Drama spiked more recently when clips of a studio ambush surfaced on TikTok, showing Q50 and crew walking into a session and Risky Road members lurking in the background. The tension flipped from behind-the-scenes chatter into public visuals. The peak hit when visuals and audio collided. Q50 camps started posting reels slinging subliminal shots about Risky Road members being internet tough, not street tough, while Risky Road posted the diss clip dropping names and bars. With threats being exchanged, both sides positioned for escalation. Studio videos, pipe rumors, diss tracks brewing. The beef lifted off the net, just like the time he crossed paths with Lou Wicks. But on September 25th, 2024, CEO Hawkim from the Risky Road crew pulled up to 78th and Maryland, different name. CEO Hawkim thought he was catching one and ended up caught himself. His name joins a growing list: Leal, Zmoney, Jeff, Monty, Lil Rob. Chicago drill ain't just rap, it's movement, retaliation, and body for body. Risky Road took a hit. The Hound stood tall. The cycle rolls on. Trap City Carter. Trap City lost another of its top members when VI, also known as Carter or Vel, got dropped in a targeted hit. But the real came days later when bullets rang out again, this time at his funeral. The victim, his sister. In October 2024, Carter was gunned down on the South Side. According to drill forums and TikTok circles, he had a long-standing beef with the Bloodhounds, and many say it was a clean get-back for Zmoney, Bloodhound Jeff's cousin. The streets already knew Carter had targets on his back. He'd been name-dropped in diss tracks. His crew had dropped bodies, and his name rang heavy on blocks like 81st and Peoria. Bloodhound Q50 even hinted it was their own work during an Instagram Live, subtly claiming credit without saying it outright.
Yeah, I'm getting niggas about we ran folk deep in the rack. On the way back, had to catch us a hat. Trap City down till they ass get back. I'm talking about cause his ass a pack, he should never lack. I heard his ass call photos of dome, get called back, you won't make it back home. Caught a nigga in traffic looking down at his phone. Lil Pool did Z, now Lil Pool gone, nigga. Lil Pool did Z, now Lil Pool gone.
At Carter's funeral in Harvey, Illinois, chaos broke loose. Reports flooded Reddit and threads claiming that Carter's sister, Romsha, was in a drive-by as mourners gathered outside. No mainstream outlets picked it up, but the hood knew. Videos started circulating, screams, people ducking for cover, a woman down. One post read, "Going to your brother's funeral, not knowing it'll be your last day alive, praying for the family, praying for the parents this some crazy pain to deal with. We got one life, y'all." It hit harder because it wasn't just the streets now. The war was touching families. Carter was one thing, but to double back and light up his sister at his own funeral, that wasn't street politics. That was a statement. Bloodhounds wanted the city to know, this isn't over. The funeral hit left Trap City reeling and lit a fuse that would set up even more losses for both sides. In Chirac, even funerals ain't safe. Carter got buried, but the bullets didn't stop. His sister's death showed that when the beef runs deep enough, nobody's off limits. But that's only what's on the surface. Behind the headlines and street rumors, there's clearly more that hasn't been said. More bodies, more back doors, more secrets buried with the dead. In a war this personal, not everything makes it to the internet. Some things stay in the streets. If you like this video, click on a video on either side to watch a video similar to this one.